Hello, good morning. This is Siva Devaki from MassMailer. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Today I'm going to talk about a comparison between MassMailer and Pardot. Pardot is a Salesforce marketing application, as most of you must be knowing. I keep getting requests from customers asking, hey, how do you compare with other solutions? So even though we do have some literature on our website and the blog post, I thought maybe it's very important, essential for the current customers and the future customers maybe, so you kind of understand the fundamental differences between these two applications. And again, Pardot is used for certain purposes, and MassMailer will have a different purpose. So can they really coexist? Can they really, empower your organization for various organization goals that you have? So, I'm open for any questions, but the current the webinar today, I am going to be unbiased. I just want to give an educated evaluation between these two applications. We do partner with Salesforce, a great partner to work with. So there's nothing against Pardot or Marketing Cloud at all. All we are trying to do is, sincerely evaluate the features that both products have to offer, and what are the similarities and what kind of differences these two products may have. And that way we can educate organizations so that you can understand, which solution fits and where, and when to use what kind of solution, because we do have a lot of customers, they actually use both Pardot and MassMailer, and Pardot could be, for the marketing purposes, in which they wanted the entire, marketing automation to rely on Pardot because they needed a full-fledged customer engagement metrics, not just the email metrics, right? So, that's the reason why I said that, based on your organization goals, which solution would fit in for which department and what kind of a use case that you can solve. And again, this is going to be completely non-biased comparison, and we have a conclusion. Again, finally, I'm going to talk about that as well. All right, and feel free to ask me questions once I'm done with my presentation. So you would see that every slide has this category, and how does really MassMailer have to offer for that particular category, and what does Pardot do, right? So when it comes to integrating with Salesforce, and this is where most of the customers would start saying, hey, do you have a solution for Salesforce? Is it an app outside of Salesforce or inside Salesforce? What is MassMailer, right? So, to answer this question, we are a native app. MassMailer is a native app, so built on the Salesforce platform, sits natively right within Salesforce itself. And that's the reason why you get a seamless experience when you're actually using MassMailer within Salesforce CRM, right? And Pardot was a different company, and Salesforce did acquire. So obviously, Pardot was not a native app to Salesforce. So they did not build it on Salesforce platform. It's an outside app. But now that you have Salesforce acquiring this company, they have built a solid integration between these two solutions. More or less like you will have that seamless experience. At the same time, there are some caveats, as most of the customers find out. Okay. And now, when it comes to authentication, if you already know what it means, basically when you're sending out an emails, you will have a sender domain. Let's say your company website is abc.com, and you're sending out an email using abc.com domain, then you have to authenticate whenever you get onboarded with any ISP, any ESP, it doesn't matter whether it's MassMailer, Pardot, or MailChimp, or whatever, right? So we both, meaning MassMailer does support authentication of the email domain, and same thing goes with the Pardot. And when it comes to link branding, we do support link branding. Again, it is depending on customer's request. By default, we don't just go link the brands. If a customer wanted, hey, I want to link, I want the links to appear as if it's coming from my domain, we do provide the link branding as well, but we do support that. And same thing Pardot does. So they do support the link branding. Okay. And when it comes to IP address, MassMailer strictly would provide you a dedicated IP address. We do not provide a shared IP address. For various reasons, we do not do the IP switch, meaning we do not rotate the IPs the way other ESPs do. For the reason that, we want to have our customers superior experience. I know it takes time for every customer to really, warm up their IP and make sure that they follow the best practices. But what we noticed is that our customers are not just small business and not just sending out emails only to the opt-in list, right? So in that scenario, it is best to have a dedicated IP. So we decided that we will provide only the dedicated IP, or we'll provide all the necessary tools that you need in order to warm up the IP. And when it comes to Pardot, by default, they give a shared IP, but you can purchase a dedicated IP address. And again, I don't want to go to the pricing differences here. Our dedicated IP would cost much lesser than what Pardot charges you. So if you ever needed multiple dedicated IP addresses with MassMailer, we do provide that. We also have a concept or a feature called IP pool. That way, if you want to send out email from multiple domains, we can support that, and we can provide the IP pool that is going to be, different for each domain that you're sending out. And we also have capability to add multiple domains, multiple IP addresses for each domain. So that way, we have that flexibility and the scale if we needed to grow. Your business may have different organizations that may have different domains that you're using, or different departments may want to use a different subdomain, whatever the reason may be. So we have that flexibility and the scale. And when it comes to email activity, so basically what you would notice that MassMailer does create a Salesforce activity that is under Salesforce contact lead or any object that you're sending out emails to. And we are on top of it, we also create an object called MassMailer email status. That's a related list to, again, any object that you're trying to send emails to. So that means that you can report on this data, and you can actually quickly look at what is being logged and what kind of an event is that, whether it is open, click, unsubscribe, bounce, spam, whatever the event may be. We capture all those events and show it right within the object itself, both in the Salesforce standard activity email message, as well as the MassMailer email status. And then when it comes to Pardot, so they do the same thing. They also show this as an activity. You can actually, embed like an engagement history lightning component. So that's also possible. It is not a standard object that they log these events. It is basically like a lightning component that you need to embed onto the page. And we do have that option as well, just to let you know. We do have the lightning component that we provide, but that's strictly recommended for advanced use case scenarios. Again, I'm happy to talk about that in a different webinar. But simplest use case scenario where you're sending out emails to a target object, you don't have to worry about the lightning component. It's right there as a related list, very simple and easy. And mass emails, of course, we support mass emails, and there's no limit in terms of the number of emails that you can send technically, but there's a commercial limit always. So based on the plan that you choose. Same thing with Pardot, they do support the mass email. And one-on-one emails, exactly the same thing, we both support. So MassMailer supports one-on-one email. Pardot also supports one-on-one email. like a single email. Right? And both applications do support email validation and verification. Meaning if you ever wanted to validate all your email addresses, not just for the format, again, validation is actually a bigger thing. Which is a must for any email marketer, or even if you are not sending out emails just for marketing purposes, as long as you have the data that you keep on sending emails to, we recommend that you periodically validate those emails every 3 months or 6 months, whatever you decide. And MassMailer actually goes one step advanced here. You can actually validate emails upon an event, meaning like, let's say a lead comes into your database from a website. And if you want to auto validate that email, we can support that using any process builder or a flow that you want to build. We have that integration in which you can actually validate those emails. You could do it in bulk as well. And there are various ways to validate emails, whether you can, if you want to validate a list view, that's possible. You can also do it from campaign. You can also do it from a specific object, like a single record. You can also do that. We provide all the reports that are necessary. And when it comes to filtering the bad ones, so we again support that, meaning anything that is invalid or spam trap or abuse, do not email status. So those ones are already auto suppressed for you, so that way you don't have to worry about that. That's an added advantage with MassMailer. Attachments, yes, we support attachments. So as long as those are uploaded from your desktop or a computer, or you can actually just upload them to Salesforce storage, whether it's Salesforce files, content, the regular classic attachments. We do support all of that. Okay. And when it comes to Pardot, I believe they let you do this only if you're using the Salesforce Engage tool. So that's an additional license that you have to purchase for. That's mainly meant for the sales team, I believe. So if you wanted to have the attachment feature, that's the only option that you have. And we do support the dynamic attachments. Is actually a real good feature in which if you ever wanted to send out individual file attachments, but those attachments are going to be different for each recipient. For an example, an invoice. You're sending out a mass email to your customers, an invoice, and every invoice is different for each customer. Then you can pick and choose by applying the filters, which one you want to associate or attach. And that becomes a dynamic attachment in MassMailer, so that feature is available versus Pardot does not support that. And email sending limits. So as I mentioned earlier, with MassMailer, you have to pick a email volume package per month, meaning whether it is 10K, 25K, 100, 200K, how many ever emails that you're going to send, you have to purchase that plan. And that's your limit. But again, if you needed to send extra or more in any specific month, we can actually provide you those add-on emails. And that's going to cost you, again, $10 for 10K one time. That can last for that particular month. And in case of Pardot, it is unlimited. Again, unlimited does not mean that you can send out a billion emails to your contacts. That's a big no. There's always going to be a limit, but it is reasonable limit that what Pardot would say. So I'm just keeping that as unlimited just because that's what they say. And now email template builder, right? So we have the drag and drop editor. If you're a customer, you must have seen how easy it is to actually create a template. And it's constantly getting updated with a lot of features. Eventually we're going to roll out the landing pages too. But the template builder is, again, a native plugin that we provide. Every template that you actually create gets stored right within Salesforce templates folder itself. We support HTML, of course. Again, we support the merge fields as well. The merge field notation, you must have noticed, it's both classic and Lightning, but you have to use the merge field notation that MassMailer provides, which is a little different from what Salesforce may provide. Okay, And Pardot, so the native email builder is available. But again, if you want to compare apple to apple, I would say that MassMailer drag and drop editor is much superior. And Pardot one is also good, but again, you will see that the features and when it comes to the ease of use, MassMailer template builder would be much more superior. And Pardot does support HTML as well. And they do have 48 pre-made templates that you can actually leverage. I mean, MassMailer does provide that. We actually turned off that feature, but that's again something that we're thinking of opening up, way in which you can actually get a pre-built templates that are available for you that you don't have to really kind of work on them. Those are available. I think there are close to 100 templates that we provide. But again, we're going to turn on that feature once again in the upcoming releases. So just wait for that. Talked about the email merge fields. We do support the merge fields, but we go actually quite advanced. So you can bring in the fields from any related object. So as long as it's a parent object, you can go upwards up to 6 levels in the hierarchy. So just to give you an example, you're sending out email to contacts, you want to traverse up to account, maybe from account to the account owner, so on and so forth. So you can actually go up to 6 levels and then get the merge fields. And when it comes to Pardot, they have limitation on which object you can send emails to and what kind of merge fields that you can bring in. So that's actually a big limitation. What I noticed from when I talking to customers, they only do lead, contact, account, opportunity, but you really have to sync the data between these two. So if you needed flexibility and if you really needed to bring in the data from the parent fields, we do support that. And we have a feature that is coming in the upcoming releases in which you can actually bring in the data from the child record as well. I know it is a little tricky, but we're going to make it happen for you. So eventually you would see that child record merge fields also would be supported in MassMailer. And when it comes to tracking the metrics, yes, we do support OpenSclick, sponsors, spam, reply, and subscribes. That's not a problem. You would see that right on the outreach details page itself. We have a lot of reports as well that are packaged, out of the box reports that we package in MassMailer. So even from there, you can actually look at those metrics. We provide both batch statistics and the real-time statistics. Batch ones, they get updated every 15 minutes. Real-time, they just get updated as and when we get the events from the backend SendGrid platform. Yeah, Pardot does also support the opens, click-throughs, bounces, spams, and spam reports and subscribes. All right, so email reporting, and we just spoke about it. We support the email metrics. The reporting also is available through the standard reports. In the outreach details page, if you noticed, we also have a way to click open the specific metric, whether it is open, for example, you sent out a campaign, you want to know how many people opened the email, we display that. Plus, we also display the specific records that are open. So you can drill down and you can also email that report. You can export those results. And if you wanted to add them to a different campaign, you can also add them, like retargeting is possible using MassMailer. All right, and then what does Pardot provide? They actually go much deeper when it comes to reporting. While you get the click-through report, you can also identify what email client the user agent has been used for any specific event, and the length of engagement as well. So they also can calculate how long they were engaged with your email campaign. So those are available as the native engagement metrics fields that Salesforce provides, and also the related list. And you can also see them in a dashboard. So the dashboards are again, conversion of the reports that they provide. So that is possible to do it in Pardot. And I want to point out when it comes to dashboards, in MassMailer, you can add any of the reports that we provide into a dashboard, even though we have not really packaged a dashboard component that's in the roadmap, way in which we want to package that component, the MassMailer dashboard. But right now, all you need to do is just go to the reports that we provide, click, and then add them to a dashboard that wherever you want to add those dashboards, that's possible. When it comes to the actual, the click-through reports, we do support click-through. If you wanted data such as, where are these emails? I mean, when it comes to the real engagement, meaning, what kind of a browser has been used, or the location metrics, operating system metrics, you can actually find that out when you go to SendGrid, the reporting tab, when which you basically have to log into your SendGrid account, and then there is a place in which you can actually look at those metrics as well. Perhaps it, so that's something that we're gonna bring into MassMailer eventually. We have not really brought that data. We thought it may be too much to really digest, but if more customers are going to ask for that feature, we can bring in that data as well, and then provide that a visual view of geographical location, what device, and then what device has been used, and the browser, what kind of a browser has been used. That metrics also can be brought into MassMailer, something in the future. Okay. Now, A/B testing, this is very interesting. We do support A/B testing. Actually, our A/B testing is a little bit more advanced. We support A/B testing templates, not just the subject. So meaning, if you wanted to test out different subjects, that's something which many ESPs do, email service providers would do. But MassMailer actually goes one step beyond that. You can actually test out a different template altogether, not just the subject. So that feature is actually available right now. Okay. And Pardot does support A/B testing, but they don't have a way to A/B test a different template, but you can do the subject. Render testing, yes, we do support. If you ever used MassMailer email monitor feature, so when you pull up a report for any template, you can actually figure out, you can click on the preview, email client preview, in which it actually shows you various, the browser, not just the browsers, where it's like a various email clients, where it's a desktop email client, a web email client, or a mobile email client. It'll show you how the email template is actually rendering. So that's possible to do it. We support majority, the popular ones, and the majority of the ones that you can think of. And Pardot has that similar kind of feature. So render testing is possible in both applications. The email client preview is possible. Dynamic content coming very soon. So this is a feature that most of our customers have been asking. So it's already built. It's in our beta testing right now. I know it's pending for a few months, but trust me, it is coming very soon. So the dynamic content, just to explain what it means. So if you ever needed to send out email to a target audience, but based on certain properties in that object, so let's say you're sending out to contacts, and maybe whatever the field that you're going to filter out. So applying that value of that filter, you can display, not display certain sections of your email template. So that's called dynamic content. So that's already built, and in beta, it's coming very soon. And Pardot does support the dynamic content already. Send from Salesforce campaign, available both in MassMailer and Pardot. Quite easy to use in MassMailer. You can actually reuse the same campaign to send out multiple outreaches. And it's so dynamic and flexible that when it comes to target audience, you can pick and choose who you actually want to send out emails again. In the second, the sequence of emails that you want to send from the same campaign. So that's possible. Campaign engagement metrics and related list. Yes, we do provide, of course, whatever metrics that you needed from the campaign, we do support that. And when it comes to Pardot, yes, they do support the engagement metrics and the stored as a related list of emails. But they actually go one step beyond. You can actually capture more engagement metrics from the landing pages and the forms, right? So they have that feature way in which you can, create your own forms and landing pages, and then capture the engagement metrics from that. So currently, MassMailer does not provide the forms in the landing pages. That's something that's coming in the roadmap. So we have all the technology that is needed to build that from a platform perspective, but we have not integrated that back into MassMailer yet, but that's certainly in the roadmap. Drip campaigns. While you can say it is cumbersome and more flexible with MassMailer, just because what we have done is it's a simple integration between Salesforce platform and MassMailer. What you must have noticed, whether you're using a process builder process or flow, you can actually just go, have a quick action, email action defined, but that email would actually go out via MassMailer. So that Apex class is already defined. It's a lot of customers are actually using that, both in Process Builder as well as Flow. So the drip campaign feature is available, but you got to be hands-on, or you can actually hire MassMailer, the professional services team who can actually help you. So we have a dedicated team now. That's a good news. So if you needed a Process Builder or Flow, any other customization in MassMailer or Salesforce, we can help you with a dedicated professional services team. Pardot does have that feature, but they have a very advanced engagement studio, or you can call it as, I think, Journey Builder. It's very user-friendly. You can drag and drop and create your journeys, and then you can send out drip campaigns. So that's certainly an added advantage in Pardot because they have a journey builder. They've spent a lot of time and effort to build the feature. Website tracking, no, we don't have a direct website tracking. We don't drop a cookie on your website to track the visitors. So that's something we recommend using Google Analytics. So Salesforce does have a native Google Analytics integration. And then all you need to do is you just have to add the GA tracking code, meaning Google Analytics tracking codes when you're sending out an email. That way the data is collected in Google Analytics and that can be integrated with Salesforce. So it's a little bit of an implementation work that you have to do, but assume that every customer nowadays, they do have Google Analytics, the account. I mean, most of them, right? So not like 100%. So if you have Google Analytics account already, you just have to kind of integrate that with Salesforce. It's a native integration that's provided by Google, I believe. And then you just have to add the Google Analytics tracking codes via MassMailer. So this topic is something that I'm actually planning to do a separate webinar, very interesting topic. And a few customers have actually asked for it. I think once we provide maybe it's a little bit of a literature, I'm sure most of the customers would benefit out of it. And it's actually going to be a very cool thing if you send out an email with the GA tracking, capturing the web, visitor data through the email and see how it is actually impacting your bottom line. The lead funnel and the opportunity funnel is going to be a very cool thing to do. And if you're interested, just let me know. Something that we can actually send you, like the literature if you want to implement it on your own, and if you need our help, we can provide that as well. When it comes to Pardot, that's a great feature. What Pardot provides, they actually have a tighter integration to track your website visitors. They drop in a cookie, and then you can actually track all that, measure, who visited, how long, and what all in a website that they visited. All of the data is available in Pardot. So they have that added advantage. And forms and landing page. So this page, you would see that MassMailer lacks all these features, but Pardot does have. This is where I think you will see fundamental difference where Pardot is full-blown marketing automation solution. It is not just a simple email marketing solution, even though that's a core, but they have the other automation features that you need when it comes to engagement, especially forms, and the landing pages, right? So they already have those features, and MassMailer is actually going to come up with these features eventually. So building inline forms, especially when you're sending out an email, so you want to display the inline form. But there's a caveat right now. I think it's only Gmail and Yahoo that supports the inline forms. Not all of them support it. So as long as you're okay to send out emails only to certain recipients who are actually hosted on Yahoo and Gmail, you should be able to use that. I mean, this actually can be used right now, even though we did not turn it on. We have that platform feature already available, but I think you want to make it a little bit more friendly so that you don't do a lot of hard work when it comes to knowing who will receive the forms and who will not receive the form. We thought, I think we should just make it more user-friendly. So that's why we're waiting. I know what exactly to be done there when it comes to sending out, like, let's say you have 10,000 emails and you don't want to really figure out, okay, for whom we need to have the form and for whom we should not. So when we have the dynamic content feature and we can provide that like little additional tweak when you're sending out these emails, say, do you want to include this form? And if not, what do you want to display if the end client does not support this? And how do we really identify this, whether they are hosted on Google or Yahoo? Provided you actually use our verifier, and we have a way to track, what the ESP, the recipient, is actually hosted on. Based on that knowledge, we can actually turn on and turn off the form. That way you get a seamless experience and you don't feel that it's cut off for some customers and not cut off. So I mean, again, it's a little technical, and also maybe without really seeing, you may not be able to understand what it means. Just simplest terms. Right now we don't support forms, but that's in the roadmap. Pardot does support it. Again, when they say it's supported, I think you just need to safely assume it's for Gmail and Yahoo. Okay. Landing pages, we don't support it right now. And again, we just recommend that either you can actually add links to other landing pages that you may currently have. That's the easiest way. I just go build web-to-lead form, and that could be your landing page too. Pardot does support it. They have this native feature. As I said, we have a platform that is ready to build the landing pages. We still haven't really kind of merged that feature back into MassMailer. That's in the roadmap. It's coming. Social connectors right now, no. Pardot does support it. I think the simplest terms, if you ever needed to post the email in a PDF format to your social channels, that should be doable. I mean, there's no reason why we can't do it. It's just effort and time. So we are spending time in the core product right now, and that's how it's going to be, and adding a little bit more features as and when we go forward. So you will see all of this coming in except the journey builder. I don't know if we would ever build a journey builder, because we would rather rely on the flows, because flows are much more flexible. I understand it may be a little bit of a work that needs to be done, but it's worth it because it gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility. And now webinar and event connectors, again, we don't support that by default, but you can actually leverage the existing App Exchange apps. That's a way to go if you ask me, because the native apps that have integration, whether it's Zoom or WebEx or GoToMeeting, those apps would actually have many more features in which you can actually kind of get that valuable insights. So I would rather just recommend going with an existing app. Some are free, some may be paid. That way you still have the webinar and the event integration done. When it comes to Pardot, they do support the event and the webinar connectors natively. Visitor tracking and reporting, as I said, right now we do not support that. The visitors who are tracking your website and the reporting, but that's something in the roadmap. But you can certainly do it with the Google Analytics integration, as I mentioned. So let me take my statement back. So it's not in the roadmap natively in MassMailer. So even if you're going to have something like this, like way in which we have certain guidance that is provided in the app to you, hey, how do you go about the Google Analytics thing? It is still going to be a native integration with Google Analytics directly in Salesforce. We can have our professional services team to help you out, and then we can also teach you how to apply those the tracking codes when you're sending out emails that are related to Google Analytics. So that's basically it, and happy to help. Pardot does have that visitor tracking. As I said, they drop in a cookie and they can track everything that any user is going through on your website. Analytics, see, we don't have like Einstein analytics kind of an engine. So it's basically, that's on you because the data is there. So if you ever wanted to build some cool analytics reports and dashboards, you just have to take in the data that MassMailer provides, take a snapshot and put it in your analytics engine, and then you get all those time-bound snapshots and whatnot. So again, if your team is already implementing any sort of an analytics solution, whether it is Good Data or Einstein or something, whatever it is, right? They would have connectors to bring in the data from Salesforce objects. Since MassMailer is a native app to Salesforce, all the data is right there in those custom objects. You just have to have that, whoever is admin for the analytics piece of functionality, just talk to that person in your company and say that, hey, I want this data, MassMailer data as a snapshot, because I want to build, advanced analytics reporting. That's possible to do it, but we don't have like any analytics engine. We felt that's not required to be done because ours is a native app and you should be able to just build it on your own. And Pardot does provide that. You can also get those metrics integrated with Pardot because they have an analytics engine behind the scenes. You should be able to get those snapshot in Pardot. UI customization, we can support the customization when it comes to UI. You can turn off and turn on certain sections on the outreach wizard, the quick outreach wizard, if you ever noticed. And that's actually going advanced. So right now it is at the company level, but eventually we're going to do it at the profile level and the user level as well. So that's in the roadmap. But right now you can customize the UI based on the configuration settings in MassMailer setup. Pardot, you would not be able to do that. Quick send, we do support that. Quick send feature, as you must have seen, it is a one-pager quick send. And we are planning to also provide a component that can be embedded right within the object page itself, where you see Salesforce email like on the object. Just a tiny widget, right? Like it's a simple form where you can just type in and send an email. So we're going to provide that component. So it's going to be in the upcoming releases. It's a very simple feature is what we're going to do. So that component can be embedded on any of the pages. It would just be a setup. You just drag and drop the component onto that activity section, and you'll be able to send an email. So that's coming in the road. That's in the roadmap. But we already have the quick send feature, which is a one-pager. It looks a little lengthy, but you can always turn off certain sections that you do not want because we have the customization feature already available. Pardot does not have that feature. And inboxing, our IP and the domain warm-up. This is very, very important. We take it very serious. So every customer that we bring on, their IP and the domain is warmed up. That's why we have a mandatory 3-month, we let customers pay for the service because it's going to be good for your email deliverability. So we have that inboxing feature. Currently, the reporting is not available right within MassMailer. It's all in the backend. That's in the roadmap to add that reporting right within MassMailer itself. And eventually, we will have that as a self-service option, meaning right now, it is more on a, more guided. So when we are doing the onboarding, we do all the backend setup for the domain and IP warm-up and one-time thing, and the engine keeps running. Right? But that would be something self-service. You would be able to connect your own account for the warm-up, the email account, and set it up. So that feature is coming in the upcoming releases. Otherwise, we do have this inboxing feature right now. Pardot, no, they don't support the inboxing or any warm-up feature as such. And when it comes to target contacts, so we don't really cap on the number of contacts. It is just limited. It is unlimited, meaning you can have 1 million contacts in Salesforce. We're not going to charge you for that because you're paying Salesforce to host the data. So we don't really care how many contacts you have in Salesforce, but we have a cap on the number of emails. So that's the main difference when it comes to Pardot pricing and MassMailer. Pardot actually would charge you based on the number of contacts you're going to have. It is 10,000, 20,000, whatever the tiered packages what they have. They would charge you based on the number of contacts, but they don't charge you on the number of emails, though. That's a kind of a difference. So we charge you based on the emails that you're sending, but not on the contacts. Pricing, if you're an existing customer, you already understand how it works, but if you're new, so we have pricing tiers that are different. So you have to have 1 admin user, 1 read-only user, and 10K Essential is the starter package. And then when it comes to Pardot, they start at $1,250 per month up to 10K contacts. So our pricing is, it starts at $142.48 per month. Kind of calculated that based on 1 admin, 1 read-only, 10K Essential package. There's a one-time cost also for us. I believe Pardot also charges one-time cost, but I'm not sure how much it is, so I not put that. So basically, it's a monthly price. Okay. Conclusion. All right. Now, I think I touched on this a little bit early on. So which app is better? It all depends on what you're trying to look for, right? All you're looking for is just an end-to-end email marketing solution that works natively in Salesforce, and you want to have that easy to use. You want the end users to send out emails. They don't have to depend on the marketing team to build templates. If you want to empower your end users, where you want them to create templates and you want them to send out emails on their own, create their target list, everything. If you want them to be self-sufficient, you can just go with MassMailer. But you can always restrict them not creating the templates. That's something that you could do. Not that you have to have everyone creating their own templates. That's, you can take that responsibility out from the end users. You can now maybe the power user or a power admin actually do that work. Okay? And of course, when it comes to email marketing, you can see that ours is cost effective and easy to use tool. Right? But if you're actually looking for a complete end-to-end marketing automation solution that provides you the website tracking, the forms and the landing pages, the analytics engine behind the scenes, all of that, then Pardot would be the right way to go. So based on, again, based on what your organization goals are, if one of your organization department would want Pardot, that's fine. Especially the marketing team, marketing team can actually just use Pardot because that is, what they're looking for. But other teams, may want to have easy to use email marketing solution. Then, MassMailer comes in picture, right? So what we recommend is that talk to or have an internal discussion in a company. We have a lot of customers that actually use both solutions. So meaning, both solutions can coexist, and you will not have any interference at all. Make the decision. I'm happy to get on a call with your team to discuss what your department, the teams would want to achieve from MassMailer, and provide to you, again, unbiased feedback on which way to go with, or what works best and what doesn't work best. I'm happy to kind of help you. All right, any questions? Feel free to put in the chat window if you have any questions. Seems like no questions so far. Once again, there's a weekly webinar. We do this every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. We will be posting the new topic via email and also on our website and the social channels. So feel free to look for that. You would be receiving it shortly. And if you are a new customer, if you want to get on a free trial, feel free to go to our website and click on a free trial. And if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to contact us anytime. This is my contact information and the company information as well. And all these videos are going to be in our YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe. So you would see the YouTube link on our website when you go to the bottom, or you can actually just search MassMailer in YouTube and you'll find our channel as well. Just go subscribe. I request you to do that. As we always talk about new topics every week, a lot of useful information. Once again, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. I wish you good evening, good night, or have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.